Hey guys, welcome back. Bolt Spider here, and today we are going to be going over the meta decks for March 2021. The new Forbidden Unlimited list came out today on March 11th, and we have so many things to go over. So there was a total of 3 cards that got forbidden, 1 card that got limited, and 7 cards that got unlimited. The cards that got forbidden were Union Carrier, Utopia, Zexal, and True King of All Calamities, on top of the limitation of Cyber Angel Ben 10. The cards that came back to 3, they really don't do anything. So let's get right into the decks that we have, as I have prepared a total of 6 different decks that we can look at. The first deck that we have is the Rising Star called Bird Up. This is a build that I've been personally testing and I haven't been enjoying because Rescue Cat baiting an Ash out for me to go off with a Fractal or Tenki to do my full combo is very amazing. And if they don't have an out or don't have a negate, or if they do and you have Gamma in your hand, you get a free 2 materials on the board because of Gamma. This deck is definitely a very fun deck to play, and I cannot wait to actually play this in events and remote duels themselves. This deck overall is a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it because it is a budget option, since most of the cards in the deck are a super rarity and lower, until you look at the extra deck with Zeus being in there. But other than that, every other card is a good $15 and below. Most you're ever going to spend on a playset are Fractals, being a total of $45 as of recording this for a playset, and Zeus being a $60 to $70 card. After that, we have a second competitor that has gotten hit hard with the Union Carrier loss, and on top of having 1 Ben 10. Now this deck is going to be adapted into the new format where they're going to be going back to Vanity's Ruler. Vanity's Ruler is a card that they did start off using back in December, but it slowly faded off into obscurity. They are I believe they're going to be going back to the Megalith side of things, because you can't go Ben 10 into Ben 10 into Ben 10. You're going to have to cut it short and getting a Lancia or a Vanity's Ruler depending on the situation. The deck will now adapt into the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, as it will have enough to actually make it. This deck will still be there, but not as strong as it once was, as I'm going to see it being a tier 2. Bird Up, I'm going to see at least a tier 1, tier 0.5, but let's get into the next deck. We have Invoked Elblitch, one of the sleeper decks that no one really played, as it's actually very good. Using Magician Souls to send your Magical Meltdown and your Cursed Eldland after you use your Alistair to fusion summon into Makaba to get advantage is very good. Eldritch on itself creates so much advantage with the Scarlet Sanguines, the Conquistadors, and Hakeros of the Golden Land, on top of running things like a small spellbook engine to send that Alistair to the graveyard to get a couple draws. Now you can also opt into running Majesty Moon Maiden in the extra deck over the Relinquished Anima or over the Invoked Elysium. This is a deck that I've had since December, and I really haven't touched it much. Next off, we have another deck that didn't get touched at all, being the Zodiac Elvelich. This deck is legit the exact same thing as last format, and overall it is again another really fun deck, but it's more on the expensive side because you have to shell out money for your Golden Lords, your Cursed Eldlands, on top of things like Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus. Other things that you do have to worry about are also Forbidden Droplets, as that is a little bit of a money card, being $120 as of recording, and also the Ultimate Rare coming right around the corner in June, July-ish. So be on the lookout for those, as this deck is going to stay in the meta for the next 3.5 months. After that, we have Virtual World. Virtual World is going to adapt into using more the level 6 and rank 3s, rank 6s, and synchros of 6s. One of the things that this deck does have now is the option, instead of going to double VFD, you can use a small Tzolk'in engine, because your Lao can adjust and add other things. And also, we don't want to forget the one Cao Cao. Now, what people normally do is cut Heim for the one Xiao Xiao, and this is what the deck would look like. So one of the things that this deck does differently than the double VFD variant, it goes into an Ultimate Tzolk'in to summon out a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which I did forget to add that. Luckily, I noticed that before. And one of the cards you could say goodbye to is Ravenous Dragon Crocosaur. So you go into your Ultimate Tzolk'in to summon out Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, then you have just enough materials to summon out Muddy Mud Dragon to summon out a Red Eyes Dragoon. This deck will only put out 2 negates and a Chu-Chi, but that isn't much, and it's very easy to deal with because people are going to start playing Kaijus again because of how this format is looking. Overall, this deck really didn't change. It actually didn't change. The only thing that it did change was the 2 of the VFD. Now people are going to try out the hand loop variant and then find out that the hand loop variant isn't that good. And things like Into Blethnir and Gothams are hand loop cards, but we won't be able to see that deck anytime soon. And finally, we have one deck that everyone wanted to come back for a very long time, and that is Dragon Link. Now, Dragon Link, not only it survived another list, LP is still here to stay, and on top of that, from Ghosts of the Past, they will be getting new Dragoonity support. So this deck is going to be engine on top of engine on top of engine on top of engine. So let's do a little breakdown on what this deck has. We have the 1 Absol Routed Dragon, the 1 Magna Rocket Dragon, the 1 Rocket Tracer, the 1 Rocket Recharger, the 1 Rocket Synchron, the 3 Quick Launch, and the 1 Boot Sector Launch. This is our rocket lineup for what the deck is going to look like. Now for the Dragoonity lineup, let's get right into it. We have 1 Legatus, 2 Remus, you can also run 3, and 1 Phalanx. Then we have the 1 Divine Lance and the 2 of the Dragon Ravine. You can also run Terraforming, but we do have Romulus in the extra deck. After that, we have a small Dragon Maid package of 3 Chambers, 1 Hospitality, and 1 Cleanup. Already, this deck is looking super expensive because Chamber of Dragon Maids just got bought out tonight. And Hospitality on its own is a really expensive card because it's a short print super rare. After that, we have things like the Chaos Engine being Chaos Dragon Levineer, the 3 Seyforts, the 1 Black and White Dragon, and the 2 Chaos Space to search out our Levineers or our baby Chaos Dragons. And then after that, we have our small Red Eyes Engine being 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, 3 Black Metal Dragon, and then we have generic extenders being 1 World Legacy Guard Dragon, and 1 Monster Reborn. Then the hand trap lineups are 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Gamma, and the 1 Driver. Now for the extra deck, we have Dragoon Knight Gaydurge. This card is once per turn, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Dragon or Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 Dragon or Winged Beast monster. This helps fill up your graveyards by searching out a rocket and dumping it to the graveyard so you can boot sector it back later. On top of that, it can also get your Dragoonity cards in your graveyard, because Remus states if you control a Dragoonity monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except dragon monsters, and our whole entire extra deck is dragon. Now, you can opt to run the Halki Firex in this deck, but it is not worth running because of the new Dragoonity stuff. Because on top of that, Legatus says if you control a Dragoonity monster or Dragon Ravine, you can special summon this card from your hand. It is a level 4 extender, and if you control Dragoonity monster cards in your spell and trap card zone, you can target 1 spell trap card on the field, destroy it. You can only use each effect once per turn. Also, on top of that, Remus can only be used for a synchro summon for a Dragoonity monster, but most likely you're just going to link it away, either for Romulus, if you need it, or into a Striker Dragon. That gets your Boot Sector launch. So we're running 3 of that, the 1 Boral Sword Dragon, the 1 Dingless Dragon, the 1 Boral Savage Dragon, 1 Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, the 1 Crystal Wing Synchron Dragon, because this card is very great because you use Remus or Phalanx and use Gaydurge. And then we have the 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, because you can make it easily since we run Rocket Recharger and we can use Chaotic Ruler. After that, we have 2 Heretic Seals of the Heavenly Spheres, and then the Guard Dragon Alpian Pisty. These 2 go hand in hand like bread and butter. Luckily, we don't have Agarpain anymore. But this has been a little recap or a little overview what the meta might look like in the next few months. Overall, I am actually very happy of how this meta is because it is not that toxic as it was last format, with VFD, Union Carrier, and a possible Zexal here and there. Luckily, decks that lost out were ABC, Guru decks, if they weren't running the Numeron engine, and on top of that, VW got hurt, Drytron got murdered, but overall, this format's going to be way better than what it is. And I'm going to be uploading each one of these decks down in the description below on a file folder for you guys to test out and adjust for your guys' own needs. But anyways, I have been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.